stage of flooding, but you need a practical way to know how to counter flooding and how to make it less of a problem. So this first demonstration is on impervious structures and surfaces, which anything impervious is something that water cannot travel through or be absorbed into. So I have this rock here that I spray painted to look like asphalt because the impervious solutions are going to be like houses, pavement, and roofs and things that the water can't travel through, so it settles on and builds up on. Like you can see this house, all the damage and the molding and problems that I've done to it and all the buildup on the roads and streets. And it sits there because it can't travel through it and it can't be absorbed into it. So this first one, hopefully it'll go into the container because this is so high up, but just showing that it doesn't absorb into it. And I mean, this container is not sealed right up against that, so it doesn't all pile up on there.
That's why he's got
the bucket.
Got it.
And this is just to show how much in the container, how much of it pours through. So as you can see with this, it's going to pile up on here more, and it can't go through that. And then you have all the drainage that's going to go into cities and stuff, and a lot of this puddles up in there. Now, the problem with this is that, like in that picture of the home, you have problems with molding and water buildup as it sits in the cities and the public. With this cardboard house, as you can see, the structural damage as the water puddles up and sits creates molding and other problems like they were talking about. Now, this is going to take a minute to drain, so while that drains, we'll move to the next slide. Okay, so the best way to counter it, talk about forestation, retention areas, and flower or rock gardens. And what a lot of people don't know or haven't thought about using. I was reading up and listening to a video of a professional, and she said that what she recommends is people building up small amounts of forest in their backyards or leaving the grass taller, or doing any of these methods, because with that, like with the retention areas, they're obviously meant to hold the water, so it's going to go down in there instead of puddling up on roads and in the cities. And then with the flower and rock gardens, just the simplest thing of putting like a flower bed all the way around your house. Then when it rains, it comes out of the downspouts and it puddles up in that, and then it saturates into the ground for the roots of the plants instead of invading the home and puddling up in short grass yards. So this is probably going to drip on the ground anyway a little bit, but then I'll show you this one, which this container is normal topsoil with rock on top of it, and this is demonstrating the flower garden, and these are just ground cover plants, moss, and some flowers, which you'd put around your house. And when it floods, you're going to see that not as much water. Water will still run off and puddle up, but a lot of it is going to be absorbed. Okay, I messed with that. What you see with that, the flow of it is going to be a little less now. It's a little heavier right now because the soil's already wet from me doing this once earlier today, but this creates more saturation for the plants and less buildup in the roads and streetways, so you see less damage to homes, and it makes your yards look better too. So you can see that those are being effectively used. The middle one is a flower garden that is actually absorbing the water, and if you see on the sides, the sidewalk and the road, the water is not puddling up there because of the simple thing of a flower garden, which when it's not raining or anything, it looks good and it creates good landscaping for public.